Welcome to the 12th sign reading for the full moon in Aquarius happening on July 29th. Oh my gosh, I did the video yesterday, which was the collective reading. And in that reading, I discussed all things having to do with putting yourself out there, shining in your own light, versus what does the community, how is the community going to benefit? How do your actions and vibrations impact the community? Feeling base level, not thinking base level. Be authentic about it. And looking at detaching instead of getting so caught up with what's going on emotionally, what's going on dramatically. That's all that I talked about there. So, in this episode, I'm going to be breaking down how this impacts all 12 zodiac signs, not by house in the natal chart, but by themes, dealing with the signs themselves and dealing with what the signs are about. That's what I always do in these episodes. So, in these 12 sign readings. So, I'm going to begin with Aries. I'm going to work my way all the way, down. And then we're going to be ending with Pisces. So, if you don't know your moon and rising sign, go to astro.com, find that information out. You want to listen to your sun, moon, and rising. And timestamps will be in the description as well as in this video. And if they're not, they're in the description. So, Aries. Before ending something that you want, just because Aries is really, really quick to just let something go. Be the low power about something. Really, really be decisive about what they're trying to do, what they're trying to instill in their own lives. What they're trying to make happen in their own lives is up to them, and they really move on their own path. They really do their own thing very, very creatively. That's what they're all trying to do. And so, Aries is a sign that, wants to just, as soon as something dies out, as soon as the fire of something dies out, as soon as the enthusiasm, the spark, the fascination, the enjoyment, the energy of that thing dies out, they move on to something else. Just because, fire. The element of fire, you need to put wood on that fire to keep it stimulated. That's Aries is a fire sign. So before ending something that you really want to end just to start over, this is about not acting out of your impulses. Feeling it out. Does this feel right? And don't worry, because your emotions will be still. I had a dream last night that I had to be very, very, very attentive to my intuition, because it always changed vibrations. That I had this thing where a woman would get mad at me in a bed after coming out of the restroom. That this man, whoever he was, got really, really mad at a stuffed animal who was apparently real, who I took very personally. But it was real, where he was like super mad, and or something other, and then I didn't do something here, and then I do something there. And then if I didn't do the slightest thing that would be following my intuition, if I went against my intuition a little bit, if I wasn't completely attentive and followed it with every little vibe, that I was constantly thinking about it, and constantly having to be aware of when it would change, then something bad would happen. But that's not the case here, because your intuition in reality is more stable than that. It's more, it's less severe than that. It's less exaggerated. There are times, though, that when you don't follow it, you end up in a really, really bad situation, but it's not like every 5 to 10 minutes that were to happen, which was the dream that I had. So comfort can be taken with that. So don't just start new things out of impulse. Don't just start these things, just end this thing completely, leave this behind, and start this thing brand new. But to be very, very wise, thinking about it, considering all the angles, really, really mapping it out, really, really basing it on the truth of what is going on with the mind and logic, instead of just reacting from a place of emotion. Can you not act so impulsively when you just get an urge and you just act on it without thinking clearly? Because naturally, when you follow your intuition, you're very, very aware in your mind and your heart that you're following it. So our minds play a part, and sometimes we can egoically just react to something and just leave something behind because we don't want it anymore. We don't want to have anything to do with it. It's not right for us. So we just want to abandon it and just forget about it. But our intuition says, wait a second, not so fast. Slow down, consider it, take your time, look at it carefully, and see all the different sides. So, the next theme to keep in mind during this full moon, and see which one of these themes resonate. Probably not all the themes that I list for all the signs will resonate, but if one jumps out at you, two jump out, then that's great. I think that goes for all 12 signs. So, not being afraid to show who you really are. Be true to yourself. Show your talents and gifts and abilities. Show what you're good at. Show what you're proud of. Show what you truly enjoy as a sort of exciting passion that you have for your life. As something that you're just so excited about, just so enthusiastic about, that you're showing them, you're showing these things to those you love. Showing these things to those around you, to those in your life. So not being afraid to be who you are to those in your life. Not being afraid to shine in your own light and be courageous. Be bold. Be in your identity. Be an individual. And don't be afraid to shine. And then all that you've planted in your garden, and all that you've achieved, all that you've wanted in your life, and all that you've worked for it and made happen in your life. Whatever you've done, really, with whatever that is, now you're reaping the harvest of that. Now you're seeing the results of that. Now you're seeing where I have done right and where I have done wrong. Whatever the consequence of your actions are, you're now seeing what you have done that has now come to fruition with what you've wanted. I mean, what is it that you want? Is it something in the material world? Is it some type of personal creative project? Is it to become less overweight and you work so hard? Well, now you're saying like, oh, my body is thinner. My body has thinned out. My body is at a thinner place right now with what it is. So, now I have achieved this. Now I made this. Now I made this happen. So, there's this feeling of, now I see it. Now I see all that I've become. Now I see all that I've worked for, all that I've created, all that I've manifested. And I'm seeing it clearly. I'm seeing all that I've done clearly, and all that all that kind of thing going on. So now, with whatever you've done, whatever you're wanting, you're seeing it clearly. And now it's time to enjoy and be thankful and count your blessings and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Enjoy what you've worked so hard to achieve. Enjoy all of what you've done to create the person that you are now. Enjoy all the effort that you put in, all the time you put in, all the eggs into the basket that you put in, where you're finally seeing, like, okay, now I can really make the most of this, because now I worked so hard for this, and now I'm getting this as a result of that. Now I am experiencing this reward. Now, Taurus, what kind of plant or garden or cook or anyone in the sensual world that you can come together with in like-minded community, coming together with them in like-minded community, sensually connecting, anyone in the sensual world, anyone in the sensual realm, you are connecting with anyone in that external realm of the five senses. When we're talking about what is essential, we're talking about, essentially what we're talking about is the five senses. So, what we are doing is we are really, really making that out. We're really, really understanding that the five senses play a huge role in our own lives, and interacting with those who appreciate the five senses, appreciate taste. Maybe people who are very, very, have a fine taste in food. Or people who really, really have an artistic sense of painting really, really well with their eyes, which is another sense. So whatever the sense is, you're being invited now to enjoy that with people in your life who really, really operate from that five sensory level, and who live in the world of the five senses, make things happen in the world of the five senses. That's where you're really going with this. And then can you use your ability to not want to change? Because Taurus doesn't want to change. Taurus is very, very stubborn, very, very rigid. It wants to be stuck in its old familiar habit patterns and everything. And you can with something to your advantage. When it comes to anything as quickly, you want to really, really consider, like we're all being asked to consider before we just radically end something in our lives, to really, really consider the facts of it, what is rational, what is realistic about it, what actually makes sense, what actually applies to what we are doing in our own life in that regard. So we're being asked now to think about it over a long period of time. Think about it very, very carefully before we radically change something in our lives if we want to change it. So use this ability that you have to really, really think through something very, very carefully, something very, very long, very, very thoroughly, to your advantage. Use that to your advantage at this time. And maybe your earthly life that is so content, you're so content with the with the food and the your home life with your comfortable chair and the people in your life. Maybe you're so content with that. You're so comfortable with that. You're so familiar in that environment that you may want to rebel. You may want to do something different. You may want to break out of that, and not being afraid to rebel, not being afraid to go out of the box and break free of these constraints. Because Aquarius is a sign of radical, freedom. So maybe you're just making the money, bringing home the bacon, and providing or doing whatever you're doing, and it just feels like so much work, so much pressure, so much struggle and strain and difficulty that you may want to do something different. You may want to go on your own path and break free out of whatever you're doing in that sense of the word. So that might be what you're considering there with that. So then Gemini. When someone taps into your mind and uses the right words and really speaks in a very, very articulate way, with being able to speak really clearly, with these words that make you angry. What's going on really well. So there is this tendency here with Gemini energy to want to just fight with words. You're very intelligent about it. You're very open about it. You're very willing to fight, willing to battle it out, willing to just use its words to its advantage in all the kind of wrong ways. It's important to not weaponize your words, but to be very cognizant of your motives, of your psychological motivations. Where is this coming from? Is this coming from a place of love? Is this coming from a place of genuine desire to speak your mind in a loving way, in an authentic way? Or is it just to prove how smart you are to attack back, and is it just a verbal battle where you just attack back at the other person, that kind of thing? So being mindful of where you're coming from with that. To not get into intellectual battles with that. So where relationships are keeping you from speaking your voice, from sharing your truth. And how can you be free of these relationships? How can you liberate yourself from these relationships? How can you really be honestly authentic to who you want to be in these relationships? So, what relationships are holding you back from expressing your truth? Sharing your own voice. Sharing your own perspective. Sharing your own side of the story. Because Gemini is all about the different sides of the story, and it has every right to share its own side. It's very open to all the other sides as well. So, what relationships are keeping you from being free? This all comes down to speaking from a soul level and sharing your truth freely. And part of that is also being open to others' truths, of which you already are. Gemini's lesson is to find that truth. Finding that truth finding those beliefs, claiming those beliefs, living those beliefs fully. Yeah. So you are fully allowed to speak your voice, but in which relationships do you feel safe to do so? Which relationships feel open and expansive, like you can do this? And maybe you want to get to know things about people in your community that you previously didn't know, people that you're getting to meet, you're getting to know, and you previously were not aware of these traits of people. So you're getting to know them, you're interacting, you're engaging with the world, you're conversing, and getting to know others, which is really, really huge. So that is also what it comes down to. Is to talk with people, get to know them, get to understand their side of the story. Like, this is a very social sign because Aquarius is a fellow air sign, so Aquarius is trying you. It's an air moon time, so yeah, consider that. Now, Cancer, it's important to be confident in what feels emotionally safe in terms of goals to pursue. Because Cancer doesn't go out and just achieve something willy-nilly and just achieve something just for no reason. And just put in all this work and all this time and energy to make something happen. They do it if it feels safe. They feel it if it feels secure for them to actually do it. They do it if it feels right, inside themselves internally. Cancers act from their instincts. They act from their intuition. They really, really live from that place really, really strongly. So can you do what you feel is safe? Do what you feel is right. Do what you feel is honest for you to do. Don't just, because Cancer wants to feel in its intuition, in its emotions, secure when it comes to whatever it's doing. If it feels unsafe, it's not going to continue to do it or do it at all. If it feels safe, it's going to redirect itself. It's going to do something different. It's going to move on a new path that feels safer, that feels better. Because Cancer needs safety. It's like breathing to Cancer. It needs emotional security. That's the very, very first thing. And then maybe you get good luck when it comes to really enjoying time with your friends and family. Maybe at this time you're really, really enjoying spending time with friends. Like, there's something to be said about actually spending some quality time with friends and family. Like really, really getting to know them on a very, very personal level. Getting to interact with them. Getting to understand their different sides of the story. That's what really, that's what this really, really has to do with. So, it's a good time to enjoy that company time. Make the most of time. And enjoy those precious moments with the people you love. Enjoy those precious times. Really, really get to know them on a deeper level. And maybe making something in your home environment. Maybe something in that environment needs changing or rearranging. Maybe it needs shifting. Maybe there's something that has to be looked at differently. Maybe there's something that has to be reevaluated in that home environment life. So, yeah. So maybe you're changing something up. Maybe you're looking at it differently. Maybe you're, yeah. So it's a good time to, look at something in your, environment that you're like, maybe I could change this, or maybe this could be improved, or maybe this could be, shift it around so that I feel more content. I feel more whole. I feel more, I feel safer. I just feel more comfortable. I just feel more happy and content and thankful in my home environment. So maybe I am shifting this around so that I feel this. So be open to change, because Cancer kind of wants to stay the same things, do the same things all the time, but because it wants security. But how can you change this and be open to doing something new? So then, Leo, what can you change as something that's not trying to win the approval of the family? Because Leo can be, the prized child. Leo can be the child that wants to win over the family, win over the approval of its friends, of its family, of whoever. It wants to win the pencils over the beacons. It wants to really, really take its all precious dots of grain and throw it over proudly and loudly. So maybe you're trying to win over parents or authority figures or family members, and this approach is not working, where whatever you do, you can't get enough love and affection. It doesn't feel satisfactory to you. All their love and attention and validation and the compliments they give and acknowledgement they give doesn't feel like enough. And so if you're constantly trying to please them, if you're constantly trying to do something to help them in their eyes, with feeling proud of you, with feeling accomplished of you, then maybe it's time to stop looking for the validation outside of yourself. Because we can't control what others react, what others think of us, what others are going to say to us. And they're not always going to be around for us to need that validation. It's so much more freeing to have the validation inside of you, as opposed to looking outside of yourself for the approval from your family, from your friends. Stop trying to please the ones who don't get you. Stop trying to please the ones who, who won't like you, who won't approve, who won't be proud of you at the end of the day. You know yourself. Be proud of yourself. Love yourself first. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself that acknowledgement that, yes, I have done a really, really good job. I have done the right thing. I have done the good thing. And so really, really, making that different, better for yourself, is not trying to seek it outside of yourself, but seek it from an internal level. And then Leo can get really, really sucked into emotions really, really easily. Leo can get very, very absorbed into its feelings. What's going on emotionally for it. But can you let go of being so stuck in the feelings? And can you instead see perspective? See this from a higher view. See this from a higher vantage point. Where you are seeing the different view, where you're seeing everything so clearly. And when you see things really, really clearly, then you're not stuck in the emotional narrative, in the emotional story, in all the difficulty going on emotionally, in all the stress, and all the strain, and all the sorrow, and all the drama, and all the heavy emotions. But you're choosing to rise above. You're choosing to see this differently, to see this much better, much more holistically. That's where you can thrive. And then can you rise above anything subjective? Can you rise above emotions, biases, or any type of emotional drama that clouds rational judgment? Because when you see perspective, when you gain a detached perspective, you see things more rationally. You see things more realistically. You see things more honestly. So can you let go of this detached, or of this really, really deep emotional way of seeing things? And can you instead look at things from a higher perspective? See things not from emotion, not from all those heavy emotions that you're so identified with and absorbed with. Aquarius energy is not identifying with the emotion. You're seeing it much more higher level. So then Virgo. There's this conflict here between what you want to take care of yourself, how you want to take care of yourself, nurturing yourself, taking care of your own physical health, your own mental health, your own body, your own life, your own house, your own space. There's a conflict between this and then serving others. There's a conflict between, what you want personally and then serving others, because Virgo is a sign of service. Virgo is a sign of making a difference in others' lives, helping others, impacting others from a higher level, adding something to their lives, contributing something to their lives, showing how strong you can be when it comes to, here, let me help you with this. Let me serve you. I can give you the right supplements. I can give you the right advice. I can give you the right books and all these things. So Virgo can really, really help with service and giving and making a difference. And maybe you're so focused more on serving humanity. Maybe you're more focused on that. And what can you do to serve? What can you do to serve and balance out your service with what you need to take care of with your mental and emotional, physical well-being, with eating right, exercising right, meditation, all of that, all those kind of things. And now you are focused on making a difference. And you can do this by looking at what your unique talents and abilities are. What are these? What are you gifted at? What are you good at? And maybe this involves some detail-oriented things, like being able to, to be able to put things in order, take order out of chaos, be able to organize things, arrange things. Being able to, put things in something systematic, being able to take care of your house, to take care of your life, take care of the world. And this, you may be very good at this, and it's okay for that to be a talent and a gift. It's about embracing that talent and really, really bringing that out, really, really showing the world and serving others with, here, let me help you, and just giving your detail-oriented approach with your mind and your eyes and your visions or whatever, how you serve others with your detail-oriented perspective. With you being able to serve others in a way where you are being attentive to all the details going on. So that may be something to consider there. Okay, then let's move on to Libra now. Okay, so now Libra. How can you be detached? How can you let go of the attachment to the facts and the others in your life and everything going on, and loosen up the air-like qualities? to see above the fray, to see above what is going on, and look at things more objectively. How can you let go of the above world, or not the above world, but all the relationship difficulties, all the struggles with your partner, all the struggles with finding a way to make the relationship work, compromising, being very, very kind and considerate, being very, very compassionate, being very, very sympathetic towards the partner. But how can you rise above that and move beyond that and look at things from a more objective perspective? See things more detached, like to be able to not get caught in what they said or what you're feeling based off of the partner, but to see things more detached and go, maybe I could say this or make an impact in this or do something different in this area, and I could really, really make the relationship better. I can really help the partner to become a better person because I am not stuck in their own drama, but I am choosing to be very, very aware of my own side of the street and what I am choosing to do, what I'm choosing to emote in that side of the street, what I'm choosing to make sense of in my life in that regard. So, what can you do to let go of this attachment to harmony and peace all the time, and always relating and working things out, and actually see yourself with more self-respect, see yourself with more clarity and go, oh, I can say this. I have the freedom to say this and speak my mind and speak my truth and not get caught up in what they want and what they want to say and, all that. And be sovereign with myself. Now also, maybe you're so caught in the negative side of this, in the negative side of relationships, in the negative side of a certain chapter in that relationship that's not going out very, very well. The relationship is not working. You're having to compromise. You're having to please. The partner does not understand you. There's not harmony. There's not helpful conversations. Not the helpful communication. There's a lot of judgment. You feel limited. You feel held back. You feel like you have to please and work so hard for the relationship. Whatever the reason may be. I'm just naming possibilities out for here. Before just drastically ending it, consider all the sides. Consider all the sides to ending the relationship. What about your financial life? What about your, what about your own peace and your own feeling of contentment and feeling of readiness? This seems to compromise it. This seems to walk all over that. And don't just end it drastically. Like take some time, take some measures in your life to end it over time, and make the relationship end very, very slowly. End it very, very slowly for you. Instead of just drastically ending it. I'm just gonna move out of this relationship just all of a sudden. Instead, choose to see all the different perspectives, what's going on, before just ending it right on the spot. Ending it right on the back burner. So considering, will I feel better? Will I feel more free? Will I feel more peaceful or not? And finally, what kinds of beautiful things do you want to create? And how could you be objective about creating these things? Because Leo, the opposite side of Aquarius, is about creativity, expressing your artistic qualities. So how can you create these things which are of beauty? These beautiful things, all the beautiful things. Art, poetry, sculpture, drawing, clothing. I mean, whatever you define as creative and beautiful, you have the opportunity to make this happen for yourself and create it, come up with it, make it out, display it out, make it happen for yourself. So then, Scorpio, can you lean into the feelings? And I think that when you lean into your feelings, Scorpio, you will see these feelings with clarity. Once you lean in. Once you truly feel what's going on for you emotionally. Once you fully allow yourself to feel these things, to move through this emotion, you will feel with clarity. You'll be able to see it more objectively. But only after you feel it. Only after you move through this very, very difficult emotion. This very difficult state of being, which may get you really, really trapped. Which may be a time to become more focused on feeling and moving through, and not just assuming that you know everything about the emotional state. Assuming that you know everything about what you are going through, about what you are experiencing, without actually understanding it on a visceral level. So you're being invited to understand it on this level, understanding it in this way. And really, really living that out very strongly. Maybe you feel an intense need to break free from your family life. There could be another possibility of this, because the Aquarius full moon is about breaking free. Maybe you want to do things, do your own thing and not be tied down to anyone telling you what to do, what kind of passions you want to pursue, what kind of things you want to make happen in your life. Maybe you want to do something different, something totally new, something totally unique. That may not involve the safety net of your family. Because the safety net's not going to approve. What if the safety net doesn't approve of what you want to do, your passion, your desire, your motivation? And what if this is in the negatives? What if this is to your detriment? That you are staying stuck in a situation where you feel limited, where you feel held back from going after your passion, where you're feeling the visceral experience of the human being. You're meant to really, you're having the movie and you're getting a front row seat to it. So, can you break free from anyone and any constraints which are holding you back? Now, you feel so deeply, Scorpio, but can you let go? Can you detach? You don't have to be stuck in the emotional narrative. You don't have to be stuck in this heavy emotion, in this heavy way of being, in this really, really heavy state of being. You can let go. You can release. And you can not have to be here. Not have to be doing what you're doing and living out the life that you're living out the story that you're living. You can write a blank page. You can start a new story. You don't have to live this narrative of guilt, of shame, of depression, of being stuck in the same low place, the same dark, very, very down, very, very devastated, and very, very sad place. But you cannot let go and detach from all this heavy emotion. And you can choose to move into a new story, into something new. Write your own story. And I think that when you detach from this narrative, from this place that you're in, which is very, very dark, you can find freedom when you let go. You choose to detach. You choose to liberate yourself from this. Seeing perspective over it. Finding the freedom in it. So that's Scorpio. Okay. Sagittarius. You may see the higher view. You may see what is philosophical, what is big, what is expansive, what is broad. But you may lose that emotion. You may lose the feeling of it. You may lose that feeling of visceral emotion that we all feel as human beings. So they tend to see things from a higher view, always seeing the positive, higher, more philosophical perspective of it may deplete your sense of feeling what the feelings actually feel like. It takes moving through the feeling in order to see the higher view. So sometimes there's this philosophical feeling with bypass and without integration. So instead of bypassing the deep, dark, difficult emotion, how can we lean in and feel it? Because the full moon Aquarius, detach. Aquarius wants to detach. Aquarius wants to intellectualize. This can be good. However, if this is our default and we forget to feel, and that is where it becomes an issue. You may want to be on your own. You may want to be independent. You may want to be free. But you may want relationship. We all need relationship because we're all human beings. We're all human souls. We all need people. We all need to socialize. We all need to form harmonious relationships where we're getting along with each other in that kind of way. So, what about leaning in? What about connecting? What about reaching out and actually bridging the bond? Actually making it to effect for you in the maker shiftings. Having relationships. This is what this time is offering you. Because Aquarius is relationships. Aquarius is a community. Start interacting with those in your community, maybe. And maybe it's finding your tribe where you share your truth and naturally accept each other's truth. It's not only just having your truth really, really strong and being very, very honest and transparent about this truth, being very, very confident and authentic and expressing your truth, your beliefs, with whatever they may be. It's also not projecting. It's also not being self-righteous, thinking that your truth is the only one, thinking that your truth and your beliefs are better and superior to others' beliefs. It is being absolutely true to yourself, but holding space and allowing space for others' truths to also be valuable, to also carry weight. to also be important, to also be worth speaking about, worth questioning, worth talking about, worth sharing. And everyone is entitled to their own truth. And so, can you share what is on your mind and in your heart, while allowing each other to have their own heart? Because everyone's different and no one's going to have the same truth as you do. Or maybe people do, but maybe a lot of people do. But there will be those who won't. So instead of just pushing down others' truth because you think it's just, you don't like it, you don't agree with it, you think it's ridiculous and silly and just feeling like you reject it, you disapprove of it. Instead, bring it in and allow it to be present. Allow the truth to be there. Allow yourself to really feel this truth. Really share this truth. And allow others to share it too. Capricorn. You're probably seeing the results of all your hard work that you put in, of all that you've achieved. All that hard work that you climbed up the mountain achieving your goals, now you're seeing the results of it. Now you're reaping the rewards of it. And so enjoy this. Enjoy all this stuff. Enjoy all that you worked so hard for. How will your efforts contribute to what is going on in the collective? What's going on out there? How will your own individual efforts, or what you do in your own hard work, how does that contribute to others? How does that contribute to your community? Because at worst, Capricorn can just do it for the fame, prestige, and attention. Just do it for sort of selfish reasons of, I want the recognition, I want to be on a high pedestal, I want others to celebrate and recognize me for my achievements for Capricorn Leo, having a high sense of self-importance. But instead, what about doing it because I want to, I want to serve the good of all. I care about the highest good of all, and I want my efforts to make a positive impact on others. I want to achieve my prosperity with compassion. Is what I'm doing affecting others in positive, loving, caring, and authentic ways? Am I being authentic in my approach to what I am doing for the collective, for the good of all? Is what I am doing for the highest good of all? That's Aquarius energy. I think that message came through in my dream last night. So maybe you also want to honor what you want as an individual. What are your goals? What are your long-term goals? What do you want on that sense? Versus what do you want? What kind of work do you want to contribute to your community? How is your work contributing to your community? How is it impacting your community? How is the work that you're doing with your career, whatever it is, a creative profession, a business profession, more business-oriented profession, how is it helping your community? Or is it not helping your community? Is it not serving your community? Make sure that whatever you're doing is serving the community. Without intending to just serve, but to make a difference. Making a difference. Really being there for your community. Really being willing to show up for your community, do what needs to be done, do what needs to be checked off the list and achieved, and all these kind of things like that. Oh, it's really, really huge for you at this time. So then Aquarius, you may be more concerned about what the collective matters at this time with all of humanity, with humanitarian efforts, with humanitarian goals, with collective endeavors, rather than your own individual life, your own personal life, what you want as an individual, what you want as a sovereign being in your own self. You may be more focused on that as opposed to the other. And it's okay, like you're a humanitarian sign, you focus on the bigger, broader issues going on with humanity, not your own personal issues, because that's what I talked about the Aquarius full moon collective video. So I talked with everybody about that yesterday. And so how can you achieve sort of the collective, focus on the collective of humanity going on with that? So how can you come together with like-minded people in community? Coming together with like-minded individuals. And can you be open-minded toward everyone's perspective, everyone's opinion, everyone's viewpoint, instead of being so rigid about your principles? Because Aquarius is an air sign. It's open to all the perspectives, all the viewpoints, but it can suffer from this stubborn quality of holding on to your viewpoints, holding on to your principles, and defending them at all costs, and pushing down very harshly others' perspective, others' ideals that are not in alignment with yours. And if they're not in alignment with yours, you push them down, you dismiss them, you because you've done a lot of research, you have looked at the facts very, very carefully. You've weighed everything out very, very carefully. You're very, very smart. You're very, very intelligent. You're very, very logical with these things. But great, embrace it. But that doesn't mean you have to put down others' ideas. And so Aquarius can be in community. And when you push others away with that arrogance of just that superiority, thinking that your ideas are better, then you lose the community. Over time, you can lose that connection with others in your community. So can you open up to community? Can you interact with others in the community? Can you come together with like-minded people and create something for a common cause? Or with whatever you're doing, with whoever, whichever situation you're going on in your life. You're meant to collaborate. You're meant to get along intellectually with whatever that is. Your life circumstances as an Aquarius sun or rising sign are set up for you to have this happen. So can you in your own life come together with with those people and network collaboratively instead of being arrogant and being stubborn? So how do your own individual actions with going on your own path in your own way impact your community? How what you do impacts your community? And this can be positive. This doesn't have to be negative. You going on your own path, you setting new trends, you breaking free of the status quo, you choosing to do your own thing and revolutionize humanity and advance humanity with whatever you're doing, you choose to be your quirky self, can have a ripple effect on others, can have a ripple effect on humanity, on what is going on with everyone, on what is going on with the masses around you. The individual actions that you take, steps that you take for your own sense of sovereignty, impact others. Show others that, yes, it's okay to do my own thing. It's okay to break free. It's okay to not identify with a certain group or a certain structure or a certain authority or following with a certain society standard. Shadow side of Aquarius can really be just going along with all that stuff. Going along with society, and groups and communities, being afraid of standing out, just blending in, being on the sidelines, not really being your own individual self with your own heart energy, with your own passions, with your own inspiration. So that's the low road here. But can you go in your own path and break free of what is holding you back? And that will then in turn show others that, yes, it's okay to break free. It's okay to be myself. So then, Pisces, what creative thing do you want to channel? Because Pisces channels its creativity from the higher realms. It takes all its ideas from the ethereal, from the space, from its imagination. It takes all these ideas and it brings it down to earth. It brings it right down to what's practical, what's realistic. At best, it can blend the worlds. So what creative thing do you want to channel? And really, with you being your creative self, with you using your imagination and translating your imaginative, creative visions out of compassion, out of spirituality, then you can impact those around you in a very positive way. And so artists can really have that ability. Artists can create paintings and create sculptures and create drawings or whatever they're doing to impact others, to make a difference, to add something to the world, to add their own contribution, to inspire others to be their own creative self, to add value, to add something to the world, to add things that are enriching, things that are human, value, substance, entertainment, and they add meaning to the world. Art is meaningful, and artists, musicians, songwriters, painters, they add meaning to the world with their art in that kind of way. So that's the very first thing, is to add art. And when you connect, when you add your art and do all these things, you can understand that we are all one. We are all one. That's Neptunian energy. Neptune is your ruling planet. Neptune says that that we are all interconnected. We are all individuals. We are all we're all soul beings is what I meant to say. We're all in the soup of connectivity. We're all connected to the all. We're all in a sea of openness without any boundaries, without any limitations, any barriers to hold us back. But how we are connecting with others on a soul level, really connecting on a deep spiritual level, getting into their feelings, getting into their hearts, connecting with them on a heart-based level, and understanding the oneness of who we all are, understanding our own value. understanding our own light, understanding our own uniqueness, what makes us special as humans. So, can we connect with others on that level? On that soul level. So I keep going back to the same points. And then what are you choosing to focus on, and how is it impacting your vibration? Because what you put your focus on manifests for you in your life. It grows in your life. Whatever you put your focus on expands. And so what are you putting your focus on? And how is this impacting how you feel? How is this impacting your vibration? Your state of mind, your state of being. How is this making you feel? Can you focus on the higher states of being? Can you focus on, what is higher, instead of lower? The high and not the low. Can you focus on peace, love, joy, all these higher states of being, instead of the low vibrational things that make you feel very, very drained, very, very anxious, very, very fearful, very, very depressed, sad, angry, whatever these negative emotions are? Can you focus on something that can make you feel better, make you feel more uplifted, make you feel more hopeful for the future, and make you feel more at peace with yourself and the world around you? So that is all that I have to say for Pisces, and really all 12 signs for this full moon in Aquarius. I will be back tomorrow to talk about another astrological transit going on, which is very, very important in the month of July. So tune in for that. I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet. I have a couple options, but I'm not going to tell you what that is. So I hope that you found value out of reading. If you did, please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. My videos barely get any views at all these days. And thank you so much for any little view that I get. Even if it's just one view, I am so thankful for that person that viewed this video, who took the time and watched their signs, listened to their signs, and did all that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I want more people to come to this channel and watch these videos and participate in these conversations in the comment section below. Thank you for watching your signs, your sun, moon, and rising. Thank you for spending your time and your attention with me. I hope you got something out of your reading, and if you found it helpful, please share this video with somebody else. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, to join this community that we are building together on YouTube, although it is agonizingly slow of a process. Hopefully that can speed up. I'm also on Spotify. You can follow me there. I'm also on Substack. Maybe there's more people that watch my listen to my podcast over on Spotify nowadays. I don't know. But only a few people listen to these episodes. I just put so much of my energy into creating these episodes, and I'm not getting the reciprocity back. I'm not getting what is reciprocal back, and that really, really disappoints me as a creator. I can't control the outside world. I can't control what videos trigger the algorithm. And there's a lot of competition because there's a lot of videos to have to compete over. And it's summertime, so people are out and about, and they don't have time necessarily, wanting to sit and watch videos. So that's another reason. My following is really, really low right now. So any support, such as a view, a like, a subscribe, would really, really be greatly appreciated on this channel. Thank you so much for anyone at all. I don't care how many of you watch this video, but for anyone who listens to this video, thank you so much. I just want to aggressively just say that. Because I'm just so mad at the algorithm. Anyway. Thank you for tuning in. Bye for now.